What's going on, brothers? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, brothers. It is your dude, Mr. International Passport. First and foremost, brothers, how's my audio coming in? Please press a one in the chat if you can hear me loud and clear. Is my audio clean, crisp, and concise? Okay, who's in the building tonight, man? How's the audio coming across? Press a one in the chat if you can hear me loud and clear, please. Who's in the building? Mr. Black Label Expat, thank you very much for confirming. Much appreciation, bro. Can I get a couple more ones just to make sure I'm good audio wise? Young Viking 5151. Thank you, bro. So I think we're good. Let's get it cracking. So, brothers, welcome to another classic live stream. I want to say thank you very much for those who have supported the channel and the movement over the past couple of years. The support has been greatly appreciated. And of course, welcome aboard the new viewers and subscribers. I accept and I embrace you with open arms. When you come in, please make sure you like the video as soon as possible. Please support the movement and the channel throughout the stream by hitting the PayPal and the super chats too. And feel free to cop the merch too and to show love to the channel any way, shape, or form. So let's get straight into it, brothers. I have a very special guest here today, who's here to speak about his time, extensive time in Berlin, Germany, or in Germany for that matter. You know, dating there, working there, living there, giving brothers a whole intel that you need to navigate the Germany scene. Mr. Traveling Bro, how you doing, bro?
I'm good. I'm good, IP. How are you? How's your day so far? How's things going?
Not bad, bro. Not bad, but I've been super excited for this stream, and I've been looking forward to it over the past couple of days. So let's get it cracking, bro. Traveling Bro, do you mind giving us a brief intro about yourself, who you are, where you're from, and anything special about you, brother?
Yes, so my name is Traveling Bro. 33. Born and raised in the UK, London to be specific. But due to the fact that I work in tech, it allowed me to kind of like move around or work or study um, computer science. It allowed me to, of course, pursue opportunities around the world. But more specifically, I spent an extensive amount of time in Berlin, Germany. So I was there for like 7+ years. So yeah, there's a lot of things, history, hobbies, and but at the moment I'm now based in Stockholm. I've been based in Stockholm now for like, I don't know, the last 3+ years. Of course, working in tech as well. So yeah, and yeah, I'm happy to be on your stream once again.
Wow, great intro there, Traveling Bro. Fantastic, brother. So, Mr. Traveling Bro, how did you find yourself in Berlin, Germany? How did you get there in the first place, brother? If you can break that down to us in a very clear and summarized way, bro.
Okay, so how I found myself in Germany. So similar to most young students, after you graduate, you're trying to figure out what to do with your life. As you probably know already, IP, once you graduate from university, everyone wants to try and hit the corporate jobs, get paid. But a dilemma that I found was that, and I'm sure you probably can contest as well. You finish university, you're applying for jobs, but a lot of the jobs openings were openings for people who had 10 years of experience. And you're like, well, I just graduated like 2 months ago. How am I going to get into one of these jobs? So if you're quite unfortunate not to get one of these graduate jobs, then you're going to be stuck in that endless interview loops and so on and forth. So I spoke to a friend. He traveled around Europe a lot, but he also worked in tech, and he recommended Berlin as a destination due to the fact that Berlin is just full of like startups. So I just thought to myself, well, that's a very, very good opportunity to kind of get my foot into the tech door. And, so I just decided to move over to Berlin. And it was like from 1 year to like 7 years.
Amazing, bro. And so, brother, that move. How old were you when you moved to Berlin, brother? What was your age?
I was around 24, 25. Yeah, I was around 24, 25. So, and the first time I moved to Berlin was the first time I've ever visited Berlin or Germany. So it was literally like a gamble, so to speak. But, sometimes in life you have to gamble against yourself, and that gamble paid off.
Yes, indeed, bro. Yes, indeed. And but I'm guessing like you're 24, 25, very young man back then. Literally, that's a very young age, especially out of university when you graduate at 21, 22. So, what was your family's reaction when you told them, "Hey, dad, hey, mom, I'm moving to Berlin, Germany"? Were they like the typical? And not even your family as well, your friends as well. Were they like the typical, let's say Western black mentality? Oh, don't go there. You might get hurt. Blah blah blah. Why would you go to Germany? What's wrong with you? Ain't no black people there. Break it down for us, bro.
I think it was fairly balanced because my parents are migrants. So, and of course, with my father, he was more like, well, you know, if you need to kind of like travel in order for you to like find greener pastures, then why not? They did it. So why not? If it's based on opportunity. So for me, it was just opportunity based. So for them, for them it was more or less like, do you know anyone there? It was more of that. But in terms of like the question, in terms of like the pushback, it was more about like friends, who were like, man, what's in Germany? Like, so like even though maybe kind of similar to most of your audience who are also based in the States, with a lot of like, British people, black Brits, white Brits, like especially mostly Londoners, is either London or nowhere else.
Yep.
So moving somewhere else, like what? Like what does Germany have to offer that London doesn't have to offer, So a lot of the self-doubt mostly came from like friends. But as you know, like once things get rolling and you find your feet, then years after it's like, well, you made a very, very good decision. So yeah, just always do you.
Amazing, bro. Amazing. So now you moved to Germany at that young age. Um, Let me ask this, brother. How was the quality of life in Berlin, Germany like? I'm assuming that you were working there for 7 years in Berlin, Germany only. How was the
Yeah.
quality of life there? And let's break it down by, the food, cost of living, safety, you know, uh,
Okay.
break it down for us, bro.
So Berlin, you need to remember, like Berlin has had the reputation of the past of being like the it's a capital, but it due to obviously the war and stuff, it was like one of the last developed cities in Germany. So you have cities like Munich, Hamburg, Cologne, Frankfurt, Düsseldorf, Bonn. You have a lot of these like big major cities, but due to the fact that Berlin is kind of situated in the east, and obviously after the Berlin Wall, like now it was like that whole, they literally needed to build themselves up, and this is mostly East Berlin, but still it's the whole kind of city is based on the east side of Germany. So Berlin's cost of living compared to other parts of Germany was still relatively cheap. Rent was cheap. I remember when I first moved there, 2014, you can get a nice apartment for 350, 250 per month euros, bills included sometimes, depending on, you know, um, you know, the apartment. Food is relatively cheap because you can imagine. I'm not too sure if some of your American audiences are aware, but they have like, big German supermarkets like Aldi, Lidl, Netto. They have like a huge, affordable, um, you know, um, supermarkets, grocery chains. Food, I would say food is still relatively cheap. I would say it's relatively cheap to eat out in Berlin. I'm not too sure now due to the high cost of living around the world, but I would say still way cheaper than London or any city in the States, or most Western European cities for sure. Not too sure about now, especially since like a lot of people are flocking there due to the booming tech scene. But yes, it's still relatively cheaper, let's say, compared to London for sure.
Wow, amazing, bro, amazing. So let's get more into working in Berlin, Germany. So you were in the tech scene, and brothers, I encourage you, brothers, to please get into tech and IT.
Definitely,
As
brother. Definitely, IP. He mentions this like every single stream. Get into tech. There's many different areas in tech. Get into it, and not only would it allow you to kind of move about, but you're also going to get paid, and you also create a lot of flexibility within oneself. So, and me and IP spoke about this. If IP was, Southeast Asian, man, this will be the plug to get into tech. But I don't know, with our people, it's like, I don't know, So yeah, definitely get into tech if you can, Put down the PlayStation pads and yeah, man, pick up a laptop, pen and paper and learn Python, man.
Absolutely, man. Join that Python classes I'm going to teach next month in April, man. I'm telling you, tech is the future, and I want to see black men get into that. So, you know, explain the working environment, brother. Explain the tech scene in Berlin, Germany, and explain how it was like working as a black man from, the UK working in the tech scene in Berlin, Germany. Did you enjoy working in that kind of space? Did you experience, yeah, break it down in terms of positives and then negatives?
Yeah, so Berlin has like a very, very booming tech scene due to the fact like a lot of companies in terms of like low entries allows a lot of companies to kind of like start up small because cost of living is relatively cheap. Office spaces are cheap, so a lot of these companies are able to like go in. But yeah, so I worked for quite a few, some small, some well known, some big ones now, international ones. But you need to remember, and this is something that I think is definitely important for us as brothers to get into these sort of spaces because we're definitely under represent like we're not really represented well within that space. So you can imagine when I went there, it was just like and this is for a huge amount of years for a lot of companies I've worked in. I was like the only brother there, I was the only brother there. But of course, man, especially with my upbringing, it's like I can make it anywhere, I can make it anywhere. Put me in China, put me in anywhere. Like I'm resilient. I'm gonna succeed no matter what. So of course, like there's politics. You're working, and especially with a lot of these startups, you're working with like people from around the world, not necessarily or primarily Germans. You could be with anyone. Your engineering manager could be Israeli. It could be Indian. So that could be a positive as well as a negative because, as we already discussed privately, you also get a lot of these like other migrants who they don't like brothers, they don't like brothers, so if you're working in a company or a team full of like people that may just be anti-black or so on forth, then your experience there is going to be unbearable, which has occurred, or which I've experienced in many different companies. However, due to the fact there's a lot of companies that are popping up left, right, and center, it also allows you to kind of like move about and hop from company to company, So if this company is acting a way towards you, you could literally just like, well, I'm job searching and find 2, 3 interviews, or the following week, and maybe land another job the month after. So that allows you to kind of like move about and kind of avoid a lot of these sort of like nonsense, so to speak.
Wow, amazing, bro. And positives. So, what was your salary like? Tell me the positives in actually working in Berlin, Germany.
Okay, so
Yeah.
okay, so with salary, you need to remember, because cost of living is still relatively low compared to other parts of Europe, then of course salary is also lower than it kind of balances it out, you know. So but I would say still, you know, you could still, I know a lot of people who bought property and were able to travel. I was able to travel quite often, sometimes on a month basis. I was able to go out, eat wherever I want, go shopping. So the salaries is still, it's not the state salary, you know, it's not like, you know, 200,000 and so on forth. But I would say still, you know, compare, you know, with the cost of living, is still a good amount depending on the role you're. If you're like a back end developer, front end, full stack, whatever, I think, you know, you're gonna get a, you know, or a fairly decent salary, you know, which will allow you to kind of save, move about, you know. And in terms of like pros and cons, or like positives, working, yeah, you're just around a lot of people. Like I said, there's good people that are also very, very open-minded. So it's not necessarily the you know, the, what's it called, the 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 racists or so on forth. There's like very good people, you know, you meet women from around the world, you know, and yeah, if you're resilient and, you know, you keep yourself in good shape, you look good, you know, you're a people's person, you're open minded, sorry, then you're definitely gonna clean up, you know.
Wow, thank you, bro. Shout out to Mr. Infantimir for the $4.99 super chat. Thank you, bro, for the support. Much appreciation. And brothers, please feel free to support the channel by hitting the super chats. And of course, please hit the PayPal too, as YouTube takes a 45% cut of each and every super chat. PayPal doesn't. So please support on the PayPal first, and feel free to support on the super chats after. That would be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. Awesome, bro. So wonderful intel so far. Can I ask you about food? How was the food like in in Berlin, Germany? Were you the type of person that just relied on Turkish kebabs all the time, or did you dabble here in German food or international foods? Break it down for us.
Well, I like in general, because you know, I go to the gym and, you know, I'm into, you know, nutrition and so on forth. I tend to cook a lot, but eating out is also an option, because I think eating out is still cheap. So you have like Turkish food, and sometimes it's not just about the, you know, kebab. Sometimes you have like a lot of these like Turkish, Lebanese, Middle East restaurants that you get like not only the proper grilled meat, but you get the rice with it, you get the salad, you get the bread. There's also Vietnamese. There's like, Berlin has a lot of like, you know, I've only had like German food a few times there, but the majority of the times is usually like Middle Eastern food, which their cuisine is, I think, is great. There's a lot of Vietnamese. There's, you know, shawarma. I think there's a few Sudanese restaurants around, which I think they're mostly Arabic influence. I think depending on you know, so you also get that. There's a few Ghanaian places. I think there's a Jamaican place. So yeah, you have like a Nigerian place, you know. So there's a number of food options about, you know. So there's vegan options, there's, you know, so there's a lot of places to eat, you know. Take it from me as a person who's very, very picky, like, you know, they have a good amount of options for people to like eat, you know, around the city.
Awesome, thank you, bro. And next question for you, brother, is culture. How is German culture like? And Germans are known to be very efficient. Was that something you also saw there in terms of how they work, how quickly they get things done? Give us an overall view of the German
Yeah.
culture.
Yes. You do see the efficiency. And maybe that's a thing of the past. Maybe due to the fact of when or depend on the sector you're working in. So maybe south of Germany or some parts of Germany where there's a lot of factories and it's more manufacture based. But within that tech space, it's just dominated by many different sort of like people now and different cultures. Germans are very, very bureaucratic. So, like there's just a lot of these sort of like steps and things are not as straight to the point. There's paper based, there's sign this, sign that. Um, but there's a lot of planning ahead. That's one thing I've noticed. They plan more than we plan in the UK for sure. Sometimes it's a positive, sometimes it's a negative. Yeah, and in terms of efficiency, maybe around the city or how things are, yeah, there's a lot of planning when it comes to things. There's a lot of, like in the UK, for example, you could tell in the middle of the city, they just put things up and it's like, well, who planned that? Like, was there anything that went into it? Whereas in Germany, whenever they do, or from what I noticed, things, whatever was put in place, there was a lot of planning that went ahead before there was actually a green light to go ahead.
Awesome. Thank you, bro. Next question for you, bro, is the people. How were German people like overall? Are they very stern-faced? Are they open people to speak with? What was your experience with German people as an individual and as a collective too?
Well, because I was based in East Germany, I think East Germans had the reputation of being a lot cold. But the thing is that and this is, but when you're in a city like Berlin, you need to remember there's also Germans from many other parts of Germany, some from like, West Germany who have the reputation of being very, very nice, maybe South Germans as well. So it also depends on like the Germans you encounter, but I would say for most part, um, especially in a city like Berlin, they tend to be a lot more open. Very, very hard to get to know, but I think once they kind of warm up, like I would say they're very, very nice people. So yeah, I have like some very, very good German friends. Like I would even put them as like close to like best friends sort of status. So yeah, it also depends on you as an individual. If you're open and if you're very like happy go lucky and you're willing to like meet new people, then I think your experience is a bit different. But if you're kind of like not so much of a people's person and you expect people to kind of like, then no, you're gonna find it a very hard time. I think anywhere you go. So
Awesome. Thank you, bro. Next question for you, brother, is so brothers who are thinking about moving to Berlin, Germany, where do you recommend are the best places to live and stay as a black man in Berlin, Germany, brother?
okay, so let's just take it for example, if you're a black guy, you know, it also depends on one thing I'd like to say. It also depends on like what are you about? What are you doing? Are you a go-getter? Are you looking to like work? Are you looking to like, do well for yourself? And if so, then I would say be more around that whole expat tech space. A lot of them are situated in Kreuzberg, Neukölln now, Prenzlauer Berg, Mitte. I think now because of course gentrification, I'm sure there's obviously other parts of Berlin now that people are probably moving to now because there's always these sort of like hotspots. So there's like a rundown part of town, similar to how gentrification works everywhere. People go there. Next thing you know, you see cafes and people flock there. So before I left, Kreuzberg was it was already done. Neukölln, which is a neighboring district close to Kreuzberg, Prenzlauer Berg, Friedrichstein, Mitte. Apparently, Wedding is becoming a good place now. So yeah, there's just quite a few places, but I would say, mostly stick around where expats tend to kind of like stay.
You said Vedding. How do you spell Vedding?
So Wedding is based. It's like actually spelled wedding, but with in how you pronounce things in Germany is Wedding. So it's actually wedding, but you say Wedding.
Awesome, bro. Thank you very much. In terms of like safety, brother, for black men, is Germany and Berlin, Germany, a safe country for black men to walk around in the night, be safe, not have anyone try and press them for being black? Did you feel safe there as a black man in Berlin, Germany?
Yeah, I felt safe. Like I've never been pickpocketed. I'm never like safe, and of course it also depends on different people. I think different people have had different experiences wherever you go. But for me, I've never felt out of I've never felt unsafe, put it that way. And I've been drunk home and left the club at crazy times of the night, left for, excuse my language, a booty call late, dead in the evening, and nothing's happened on the train, on a bus, So I think it's like, I think it's pretty safe, way more safer than, let's say, London for sure.
Definitely, I'm not surprised. Thank you, bro. So in terms of racism, did you experience racism, in your life in Berlin, Germany? Maybe day-to-day life in terms of maybe workplaces and at work, or amongst people individually, or did you experience any sort of institutional structural racism that you thought was holding you back? Any sort of racism in any part of your life that you experienced in Berlin, Germany?
Yeah, you definitely experience racism, and this is, of course, especially being a brother working anywhere. There's always these politics that you kind of encounter. Of course, like the UK, US, we're pretty ahead when it comes to you know black people, race, and these other things. I'm not saying it's better, but we're still quite ahead. So I would say if you do encounter certain things, I haven't, but sometimes it may just be based on ignorance. I've never received any comments directly to me. Of course, you get these like smart remarks at work, and of course, you need to obviously be very smart with how you react to it. Like someone might say something, and you're not just gonna beat, like put the beats down on him. So you're gonna have to be very, very smart. But yeah, the majority of the racism that I've probably encountered is more in the workplace, mostly these racist comments, or like, being overlooked and these other things. Some people that I know have experienced racism in Berlin, especially like the more east of Berlin you go, like very, very east. That's where like a lot of these like skinhead far rights had their sort of like stronghold, because so, but other than that, I've never experienced anything. I would say maybe some of the hostilities that you may encounter, just a heads up, is like maybe from like other ethnic groups like Turks, Arabic people. In most parts they're cool, if you stand your ground they're cool. But when it comes to, like, let's say for example, going to clubs, some of their clubs are run by Turks, Arabics, and you know how they feel about us. Oh my God, he's a black guy going, like, and a lot of them are like doormen, bouncers. So you kind of you know feel it there, where you go out, you dress up, you approach the door, they look at you, and they be like, not tonight. So You could say it's based on like, you know, them being selective, but I definitely do believe a lot of it does come from like prejudice standpoint, you know.
Wow. Thank you there, brother, for your honesty there. Workplace, I'm shocked in the workplace. You know, you experience racism. How did you deal with, you know, when people making slight remarks, and what kind of remarks did they, let's say, give us one or two remarks they made against you? How did you deal with it? You know?
You know, when it comes to like um especially like black men, you know, I know black women also get their racism. I think, to be honest, in the workplace, I think they probably get a lot more. But with us, or the experience I've encountered, is mostly based on like the physicality, right? Like your physical presence, you know. Because a lot of us, you know, if you tend to keep yourself in shape, if you work out, most of the comments I've received is mostly physical, you know, like yes, one could say, well, they're complimenting you, but you know, it's never based on like, oh, your intelligence, but it's based on like, oh, like, oh, you go to the gym, oh, you work out a lot. Like, so yeah, we all do, you know, like I'm sure you work out a lot as well. You know, so it's just mostly your physical appearance and these sort of things, you know, and yeah, you could say it's out of curiosity, but you know, I don't ask about your physical appearance. Why do you care so much about mine? You know, so it's just mostly that, and oh yeah, and yeah, I might even throw this in there. One of the things that I've learned over the years not to attend is Christmas parties. You might think like, oh yeah, well, you know, it's a good time for you to, you know, get to know people and so forth. But I just usually find it one of those places where like you go there and it's like that's where they get drunk. And when, of course, those people get drunk, that's when the truth comes out, right? So that's where, like, oh, yeah, like, oh my God, you're very, very nice. Oh, like, you're different. Oh, like, these like wayward comparisons. Like, you don't look nothing like Idris Elba. And they're like, oh my God, you look like Idris Elba. You're like, no, I don't. What are you talking about? Or even worse, IP is like, oh, like, show some dance moves. Hey, like, like it's like, bro, let me chill out, man. I'm chilling out, speaking to people, and say, hey, show us some moves. It's like, what do you mean show us some moves? So that's when the that comes out, So for me, it's just like over the years I've just learned to just like, if I go to these like work functions, I'm just gonna be there for like an hour max and keep it moving.
Oh wow. Wow. We're going to discuss that more on an IT recording, bro, about how you navigate the work scene, especially with comments like that. Yeah, I know, bro, it's very upsetting. They believe we're some sort of mythical beast. But thank you, bro.
Yeah.
For that breakdown, bro. Yeah, those Christmas parties, those work functions, I tend to avoid that too. Once people get drunk, their true self comes out. You can
Facts.
either, I call them out on the spot. Some people get physical, so you've got to be very how do you navigate that as a black man?
Yeah.
It's very important.
So for me, I would recommend just like go there for like an hour max, so people could, yeah, he was there. He was there. What happened? It's like, yeah, I just left after, so hour max. But like you said, when those people get drunk, that's where like, they just push barriers, and and at the end of the day, you can't whoop them, because you whoop on them, then boy, you're gonna have to, speak to HR about that incident on Monday, So a lot of the times it's like you show face, and after an hour you just keep it stepping.
Thank you, bro. Next question for you, brother, is so your time in Berlin, Germany. And on that note, brother, was that your experience? Did anyone say something, sly remarks to you at a function in Berlin, Germany, and that that from then on you navigate that scene differently? How did you handle it? How did you deal with it? If you can give us a small story, brother.
To be honest, and I think this is something that we were speaking about a while back, and it's like, um, don't suffer in silence. Because you can imagine when I first moved over there, a lot of the things that I encountered, I was like, well, I'm not a snitch. Take it to the chin. Well, just brush it off. Especially when in most cases is usually during probation period. But what I've learned now is to kind of like note things down, note these incidents down. If you can, try and record them, like pull out your phone and, record things, but obviously don't let them know. But mostly taking notes, documenting time, date, what was said. So keep that. Yeah, you could obviously speak to HR once you've obviously gathered a lot of evidence. But sometimes as well, even HR may not also be in your best interest, which is very, very difficult. You could G-check people, like sometimes you need to do that. Well, I don't like that comment. I think it's out of pocket. I don't like it. But I'll definitely say do not suffer in silence. Yeah, don't suffer in silence. I've learned that one or two times in the company. Just write it down, just keep a record of what was said, maybe even try and seek legal advice, on the sly, present your evidence. And yeah, if they try and act up, then, or this incident is persistent, then you could obviously follow this up and try and sue their asses, sue them. Sorry, sorry about my language.
No worries, bro. Thank you very much for that breakdown, traveling, bro. So next question for you, brother, is the Black man's economic situation in Berlin, Germany. You've been there for 7 years. How are the Black community in Berlin, Germany doing? Are they an economic power force like the Turks and the Arabs are, or are they simply in the background and just all over the place?
Yeah, compared to like, and this is so sad, but I'd say compared to like most places around Europe and maybe even the world, it's like, yeah, we're still relegated to the very bottom economically. You do get a lot of these like, first generation, migrants, who a lot of them are doing well, or you may get like Black expats, but yeah, we're not really as dominant as, let's say, the Turks and the Arabs. So yeah, we do occupy like a lot of very low skill jobs. Um, you know, retail, not so much in like higher education, still very, very rare. Don't really dominate business or any of these other trades. So yeah, that's why I said in most cases, like a lot of the Black people that I do encounter, or I did encounter in some of these startups, were usually like expats from like the States, UK, some parts of like Africa, like Nigeria, Ghana. But in general, I wouldn't say, but you can imagine when it comes to things like entertainment, I wouldn't even say they're dominant, but you do find them in terms of like rapping or, dancing, like hip hop dance classes and these other like irrelevant, in my case, in my opinion, areas,
Oh, okay. Thank you, bro. Next question for you, brother, is issues. What were the main issues you didn't like about Berlin, Germany?
The issues that I didn't really like so much about Berlin, I think, and this is from like, if you're from like places like the States or the UK, I think sometimes you miss that busy hustle, bustle city experience they usually get in like, let's say London, for example. And I think sometimes, I would say it's like compared to like, let's say London, New York, it's like a few, many gears lower. So I think sometimes if you're like used to that fast-paced, quick decision, sometimes it can rub off. It can be an issue where it's like, man, why is everything too slow? People are taking things too calm, so people tend not to be a bit proactive. What else didn't I like? In terms of the women, I would say, Berlin also had that reputation of being a city where, nobody's serious. Everybody hooks up with everybody. So yeah, it's just, yeah, that's also an issue. And for some people, they also see Berlin as a very dirty city, depending on the district you're at. But I think it's cool. And yeah, man, and I think you can imagine as well, depending on the district you're in, is that whole woke culture, which I think has plagued many places around the world. So Berlin's also not excluded from that.
Okay. And does that woke culture include, Black Lives Matter, anti-racism against black people this, black people that? Does it include that? Or
Yeah,
is it okay?
Antifa also have a very big presence in Berlin, and this is pre BLM. You got the Alphabet Group, who also have a very, very big presence there. I don't want to say the group, but we all know. And you could be on your way to the office and you're seeing Jamal or what's a very German word, Bastian. A beard, but he's wearing high heels around the.
Jesus.
You know what I mean? So there's also that aspect as well, which, yeah, that's it's not my stuff.
Same here, man. Definitely not my stuff as well. Brothers who watch my channel. No, no, no. Um, okay. Interesting. Okay. So, okay, thank you, bro, for that breakdown. So let me ask this, brother. Um, in terms of like, public transportation, buses, trains, moving around. How did you move around, and was it efficient? Is a public transportation efficient enough that you don't need a car, or did you need a car in Berlin, Germany?
For sure. Very, very efficient. From Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's 24 hours in terms of like how the train runs. So there's a lot of U-Bahn station, there's S-Bahn, there's U-Bahn, which I think is very, very efficient. That's one thing I'll definitely say. Very spacious. Um, so yeah, you don't really need to drive in Berlin. If you do, then it's just for vanity. But in most cases, I think the transportation is efficient enough for you to get by. I would say even in terms of like cost for transportation is still affordable. Let's say compared to a place like London for sure. So yeah, it's a very, very good yeah, it's very, very efficient.
Awesome. Thank you, bro. Shout out to my mod, Mr. John Thomas. Thank you, bro, for the £2.36 PayPal donation. Brothers, feel free to support the channel. Can you also get the likes up as well? That'd be greatly appreciated. And feel free to support by sending in super chats and PayPal if you have any questions or want to support the channel in general. That'd be greatly appreciated. IP, your guess is correct. Even in the US, I use the news and the internet to research a new city that I'm visiting for safety purposes. It's best to avoid all alt-right, far-right gathering places at all times. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, John. Fantastic. So, and thank you for the support, John. I appreciate you, bro. So, next question for you, brother, is so what's the work culture like in Berlin? London is very fast paced, the work culture, 9 to 5, work quickly, work fast. But what's the work culture like there in Berlin, Germany, brother?
So if we're talking about from like a startup tech sort of company, I'll say it's relatively slow pace, a lot of planning. in terms of like the hierarchy, I would say it's in most cases it's pretty flat. A good emphasis on like work-life balance compared to like London, and this is before, like, bearing in mind COVID. This is before, we were able to work from home. That wasn't an issue. There was a lot of emphasis on like things like Friday beers and after work sort of gatherings and events. In most companies they had like game rooms, and so it was very, very chilled out vibes within a lot of these companies. Um, Young, a lot of their hires are usually young, which is also very, very good. And you need to remember, like, a lot of like your colleagues, majority of them, due to fact they were expats. A lot of them, of course, are new into the city, so some of them end up being like very, very close friends of yours. So after work, you could stay in, especially Fridays, Thursday, Fridays. You can stay in the office until quite late. Then after that, people go out together. So that's also very, very good. Um, yeah, that's also very, very positive um, to know. But that would be a positive.
Awesome, thank you, bro. And yeah, last question before we move on to German woman and the intel. Tell me the positives of living in Berlin, Germany, for brothers.
Cost of living still relatively affordable. Good balance in terms of like work-life balance. I would say they also have amazing summers. I would say the summers in Berlin is just amazing. The heat is very, very hot, believe it or not. Beautiful lakes, a still growing city, a lot of expats, very, very international, great culture, great food, great history. I still have a lot of friends who still live there. The women are okay. It's also, bearing in mind, very, very mainland Europe. So it's very, very easy to travel around Europe. So Prague isn't too far. Poland is next door. You could travel to Amsterdam. You can travel to Denmark. You can travel to Paris, even by train. I usually used to take the Deutsche Bahn train. So it just used to, I think it's called the ICE train, and it used to just take you to like the Netherlands and many different parts of Europe. So it's where, how Germany's situated. It's like a very, very great place to kind of like travel.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, bro. So let's move on to German woman, brother. So my first question to you, brother, is how is it like dating as a black man in Berlin, Germany?
Oh man, that's yeah. I need to kind of like I know you cautioned and you've stated the rules beforehand, so I need to, if I'm pausing, so I don't kind of like it's more about controlling what I say and not slip up with profanity. But it's man, Berlin is just oh man, it's just oh my god, this well, my time there was just nonsense, like I just did a lot of nonsense out there, so I think it's also from a person to person basis, but I would say it's just like, yeah, Berlin's a wild city, man. What, very, very wild. Oh yeah, IP, you need to plug in your explicit version. Oh yeah, you did.
Yes. So me and the brother, we recorded the explicit version about German woman. It's probably my most explicit yet. Yeah. This brother, he went ham out there in
Yeah.
Berlin, Germany. So that'll be on the Patreon in the coming days. But yes, Berlin, Germany is something else. I've been there myself. I've seen it myself. It's a wild, wild city. It's almost impossible as a black man to fail there to get any woman.
Yeah, if you fell there, then yeah, like, oh man, you need to you can't uphold the name passport, bro, man. You need to be, I don't know, man, relegation, bro, or something, man, or something along the lines. You know, we need to find a new word, man. You know, you're not gonna uphold that passport bro's name well. So yeah, if you don't score in Berlin, yeah, you need to be a relegated, bro, or something, man.
So would you say as a black man it was very easy for you to date, to meet women giving you attention in Berlin, Germany?
Yes, I think it's easy. But let's put the disclaimer out there, IP, like, and this is something that I would say, you know, is very, very important. And also this is very, very a great way for anyone who's willing to get into tech or whatever, whatever IP's pushing out there. You know, he's not a nagging father or a nag, like, he what he says about, you know, getting to tech, it would also become an advantage. So, but just so I don't ramble on, you know, get yourself in physical shape, be about something, and I'm telling you, you're going to clean up. And I would say that's one of the main reasons why I and a few others cleaned up, because one, I'm actively in the gym, keep myself in shape, and two, because I'm about stuff, right? So if you approach a girl and she's like, why are you in Berlin? It's like, I work here. What do you do for work? I work in tech. Automatically, you're placed above quite a few people. Oh my God, you're not from here. You work in tech. You keep yourself in shape. You're about stuff. So they're gonna, you know, things are gonna be a lot more easier, you know, because you're just above the rest of the black brothers who are in the city, you know. So with that, it's an advantage.
Wow. So, brother, would you say like the German women are checking for brothers in Berlin, Germany, heavy?
Yes, they are for sure. But also you also need to realize, like, that check-in, man. Is it like quality women? Is it, you know, these women that see you as a fetish? Obviously, it depends on what you want or what you're after, but for sure, you're definitely gonna, you can definitely, they are checking for brothers, in most cases.
Okay. So I'm gonna go on the mind of someone who's fresh faced, right? Who's in Berlin, Germany. They've got a new tech job, a new IT job
Mhm.
in Berlin, Germany, right? So I'm gonna put this dude in timeout. Don't just come here spewing nonsense. You keep trolling, I'm gonna block you forever. All right. Don't just come up here spewing out nonsense. My little talks. This ain't the channel where you're gonna come up here and start asking dumb questions. I'm gonna block you. You keep doing that. All right. So traveling, bro. So I'm gonna be in a perspective, right? It's a brother who's just touched down in Germany, or who has a job offer in tech in Germany, right? Definitely interested in German women, the dating life there, right? So my question would be, you know, as a Western black man from either America or the UK, what kind of woman would I meet in Germany, Berlin, internationally, locally, mentality, and physical?
It depends where you, the scene you know, you dibble and dabbling. You need to remember Berlin has a hip hop scene, it has an expat scene, it has a techno scene, you know, it has a huge electronic scene. It has a very art scene. So it also depends on like who you encounter. So, you know, like I said, if you meet someone who's an expat who, you know, she's in, you know, she works for a startup, maybe she's a, you know, she works in HR, she works in this, she works in, um, uh, she works. Then of course her mentality may be a bit different, since she's career driven. So that could also be a factor. Not to say like, well, because she works in HR doesn't mean, you know, you have to wife that, but you then know she's about something. But you also get women who, you know, like in most parts of the world, they're not really about stuff. You know, they might be working, or some of them may not be working at all. They may not be about much, you know. So yeah, I think it also depends on like the scene you're at. There's some women who are in that techno scene, and besides working in a coffee shop, partying non-stop, like you're not really gonna want to wife your woman like that, you know. And it's the same with the hip hop scene. You get women who, you know, always out Friday, Saturday, hip hop, table, clubs, VIP section. So you also need to be very, very wary of that too, you know.
Okay, thank you, bro. Awesome, awesome. So, break down the demographics of German women will meet. Is it so white women, mixed race women, Russian women,
Okay.
um, Asian women, and who are the most prettiest women there in your opinion? And personally, who gave you the most play as a black man in
Uh,
Germany in terms of race and culture?
okay. So you get a lot of course, ethnically white German. You get a lot of Russians. You get mixed race. So you can imagine half white, half black. But of course, with other mixes, but I would say mostly mixed, half white, half black. You get a lot of black women. You get a lot of Turkish, Middle Eastern. So this could be Lebanon, Syria, Iraqi, and also as well, you also get like a sizable British, white, French, you know, and these other Europeans. Asians, mostly Vietnamese. Um, Polish, yeah, because Poland's next door, so you get a lot of like German, Polish, Italians. So you get like people from Israelis. You also get like a lot of places from, you know, mainland Europe, Dutch. So you do encounter you also encounter like some Black Americans because of course there's a lot of military bases in Germany. So you also get a lot of like Black Americans, White Americans. So yeah, Berlin's pretty international, but in terms of like the prettiest, I would definitely put it down to like maybe the Middle Eastern as well as like the Turkish, Middle Eastern. I would say they're up there's the prettiest, in my opinion, you know. And they're
Awesome.
not necessarily my type, but we're talking about like outright pretty, you know.
Mm.
I would definitely put them up there as the prettiest.
Okay, brother. And in your opinion, bro, right? What group of women gave you the most play? And because of that, do you feel like if a black man comes there, he can kind of expect these group of women to show them a lot of love? Was it the white German woman, the Russian white woman? Was it the mixed race black woman? Who gave her the most play in Berlin, Germany?
That one's crazy because that's why you need to go to the explicit version to you know to get that X-rated insight. But I would say of course German women because of course they're the majority. So you're more likely going to but I'd say due to the fact that you know, I like everything, you know. I like different flavors. So but I would say I've dealt with quite a few Turkish women, Middle Eastern women, mixed women, and just like women from like they're German, but they have like maybe Russian German, Thai, you know, mixed like Thai and German. So I'd say like mostly mixed ancestry or like just foreign German women. A few German women here and there, of course, because they're the default. And I think if that's what you're after, then of course you can definitely clean up with that. Because I know quite a few people who I'm still in contact and yeah, they just clean up, especially with German women. So yeah, it depends on what you're after, really. Um,
Awesome, bro. Are German women feminine and submissive? From your time in Berlin, Germany, brother?
it depends on the ones you meet. Of course, if you meet the sort of like, you know, feminist type women and I'm Miss Independent and, you know, which Berlin has a lot of them. then yeah, some of them are masculine, but I don't deal with them sort of women anyway. But yeah, you do get a lot of these like feminine women who may be from like, you know, other parts of Germany, like more like Munich and these others where like they still carry themselves quite feminine, but yeah, you do get these like, you know, women that don't shave their legs, they don't shave their armpits, they don't do their eyebrows, them women that just
Yeah.
beat up, have a lot to say, and but that's why you need to go onto the explicit version, because I'm actually trying to hold my tongue, but I think you will get the drift.
Yeah, I know why you're holding your tongue, man, because that was a wild recording. I've watched it 4 times already, and I'm gonna drop it on the Patreon very soon. I'm currently enjoying it by myself, but I'm like, this is a movie while I was here, man. And I believe you, bro. I definitely believe that's
Bro,
what your experience was.
IP, I'm telling you, I don't want to. I'm trying to like. The reason why I'm kind of speaking slow now is because I don't want to like say something I shouldn't say. So that's why I'm just like, I'm kind of like controlling myself a bit.
I feel you, bro. I feel you. Because even when I was in Berlin, Germany myself, I could feel the energy towards me. These women, they were ready to go. They were ready to go. I'm like, whoa, like, and that's when my eyes open. Like, it's definitely not me and my problem. It's not my fault as to what I'm experiencing in the UK. English women are just horrible. But so I know that when I go abroad, like, and I carry myself in a certain way, these women are ready to go, man. Whether you want a wife, girlfriend, or you just want someone for the night, they're ready to go. That's when Berlin, Germany opened my eyes, man. That was a lifesaver. I'll tell you that. Let me ask this, brother. So if a black man is looking for a wife in Berlin, Germany, he's there for a long time, wants to set up his base there. Do you recommend Berlin, Germany as that spot? Or would you say Berlin, Germany is a hedonistic city? Finding a wife there is very unlikely across any race of woman. They're throwing their box around. And be real with me, brother.
I'm gonna be real with you, and this is from my experience. Would I look for a wifey in Berlin? No, I wouldn't, because once you've kind of peeped the game and peeped what the city's really about, you're like, well, what's the benefit of me trying to find a wife here if I could just live that single life and indulge in nonsense on a week-to-week basis? Because for me, I had at one point a rotation. So if I had like a rotation, everything fell in place. I worked, I went to the gym, I went out from time to time, and whatever day like someone can come over, then what's incentive for me to want to get into a relationship? And if I'm thinking, well, Berlin has also had that reputation where it's like, boy, everyone hooks up with each other, so I'm like, what? And you're hearing stories from your boy, you're doing that, you're seeing this, you're like, nah, man, I'm not trying to I don't want to catch no L's, so I might as well just protect myself at all times and really be out here, man. You know what I mean? Really be out here. So there's really no incentive to find a wife. I have some friends who may settle down, but it's just like, bro, that lifestyle, man, it's just once you've tasted it, you're just like, nah, man, I can't. Not to say there isn't any nice women out there, but I feel like once you've kind of seen the city for what it is, yeah, you're definitely not gonna wife your chick out there. And if you do, man, do your research.
Do you have any information on other cities in Germany as to where you could find a wife, women who have low body counts, virgin potentially? Would you say that's mostly the south of Germany, like Munich and those areas where it's more conservative there? You could, or are you saying like it's a German thing? Just be careful, do your research.
I would say like smaller cities, like more conservative cities. Yeah, that's where you would probably get your best shot. But you need to remember, and this is something that I've spoken to you about, it's like even with that, it's a bit risky, right? Because what a lot of people don't know is that in Germany there's a lot of American military bases, especially in the south part. So you might think, oh well, I'm gonna find me a nice German girl who hasn't been, touched whatsoever. But these times, Tyrone from Brooklyn, who's serving out in the military in Germany, boy, he's had his way with her, man. You know what I mean? He's had his way with her. So you need to also do your research. There's a lot of German women who have done au pairs. So she's cute, she's feminine, but you go on her IG and she's following Darnell, she's following Brooklyn Bloods 108, and you're like, whoa, what's going on out here, man? And it's like, boy, yeah, like I was an au pair in New York for like a year, and boy, do the maths.
I feel you, bro. I feel you. I know these au pair chicks, man. I haven't met some myself. They're ready to go as well.
You know what I mean? You go on that IG and you see who she's following, and you're seeing dudes that look like NBA young boy, and you're like, what? Oh, let me tell you a story. Oh my god! So, me and my boy, oh my god, we went out. Kind of similar. We saw two German girls. We're talking, chilling at a bar. And I was talking to them, and I noticed like one of them had like an American accent. So I was like, oh, you're American? Are you? She's like, no, but I lived in the States for a while. I was like, oh, where did you stay? She's like, I lived in I think she was like an au pair or something. She was in Florida. I was like, okay, cool. So, I was like, oh, where in Florida did you stay? She was like, yeah, like where she stayed, there was a lot of Haitians. I was like, oh God. Like, I was like, well, boy, say no more, man. Say no more, man. You know what I mean? Like, boy, that's just what it is, man. And if you saw her, you would not have thought, she seemed very, very put together, nice, soft spoken. And she's like, yeah, there was just a lot of Haitians around there. I was like, yep. Yeah, man, she's definitely been ran through by a few Haitians, man. So yeah, man.
Damn, if it's Haitians, it must be Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah. I think it was Fort Lauderdale that she said she was there for a minute. So she's like, yeah. So I was like, yeah, man. She's been, yeah. Them dudes. Salute my brothers out there. They've had their way with her, man. You know what I mean? So.
And that was a white German girl, huh?
Yep.
Okay. This is good intel, bro. This is very good intel. So how do you meet German women? What's the best way to meet German women? Was it dating apps, Bumble, Hinge, Tinder? Was it cold approaching, parks, clubs, bars? How did you meet your woman, brother, that you dealt with?
With me, it's so crazy, but the majority of them, of course, is bars. Like, that's one amazing thing I would say that I love about Berlin is like, they have like a lot of these bars everywhere, like every single corner, every single district around the city. So, and the drinks are relatively affordable compared to, let's say, London, or New York or other parts of the state. So you can definitely go bar hopping, which I think is also a very good place to meet women. Of course, clubbing could also work, depending on what scene you're in, techno, so on and forth. But for me, I met a lot of them at the gym. I'm not saying it works for everybody, but that's where it works for me because I tend to, keep myself active. So I'm mostly at the gym. So I think after that, if you're just training and you see regulars, then I think it's very, very easy for you to kind of like strike the combo. But this is before the whole, plastering people on TikTok and exposing men. This is before that. So I don't know if I could try now, but before it was just like that was where I just used to clean up. It was mostly at the gym.
Awesome, bro. And cold approaching German women, is that acceptable? Did you cold approach German women, brother? And what was your success rate?
Cold approach. I did, but it was, I think the ones that have it the most are the ones that like have lived abroad. They To be honest, it also depends on your looks, how you look, your approach. So it has worked for me, but yeah, I would say cold approach works. It works in Berlin, but of course, it's always good to obviously get a bit of eye contact first. But cold approach definitely does work. It works for me. Of course, with cold approach, you also get rejected, but yeah, I've also, did my thing as well.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. And how do you cold approach, brother? Or what's your method? What would you recommend, brothers, as to how to cold approach German chicks? Do you say certain words? You just be straightforward. You look great. Are you free for
Um,
coffee tomorrow? Because
don't
that's what I did in Germany, bro, and it worked. But go
Yeah,
on, bro.
cold approach works, but don't also like. I would say the best cold approach that definitely worked for me is like you have to like you can't be obvious that you're just out here cold approaching, if that makes sense. So a lot of times when I used to cold approach was usually in the summer after I've left the gym. So it's like, oh yeah, I'm just taking a walk. I've finished from the gym. I'm on my way home, So you see a girl and you're like, hey, how you doing? And like, yeah, I just left the gym and so on and forth. So always make sure like if you're cold approaching, make sure like it's like you're 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 on your way somewhere or you're clearly doing something and but yeah, I've definitely cold approach, sometimes even on a scumbag tip and it worked, but sometimes of course you get rejected. But yeah, for sure I like cold approaches in general. So yeah, it works for me.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you very much, Chamberlain, bro. So I got questions for you, but I'm gonna get people to also join the panel as well if they ask you questions as well. I know we're running on a limited time scale, so I want to definitely add higher to what we agreed before the stream. So this has been a fantastic stream so far. I'm gonna give you brothers the opportunity to ask about life in Germany and about the woman as well. So a mixture of two topics. So please feel free to send your questions in the super chat and a PayPal donation. That'd be greatly appreciated. Or you can please call in to ask your question to our panel member. So before I do that, brothers, as you know, I'm currently teaching a Python course, right? So choose the appropriate tier on the live stream comment below to join my Python course starting in April next month. Make sure you join quick. I'll be closing the entry lines or the acceptance rates very soon. So make sure you join before I close any more acceptances. Okay.
And
So
definitely hop on. Like I said, if you're a passport bro and you definitely want to clean up, and the girl, let me tell you something. Let me tell you some of you guys out there, and you're in a conversation with a woman, and she's like, "What do you do?" You can't tell her, "Well, I'm just in Germany, just trying to find my feet," or like they want to know, like, what are you about? Were you doing something? And if you're like, "Well, yeah, I'm a developer. I work for a company or I work remote," it's going to make you more attractive. So, but if you're out here just like, well, I want to be a pastor, bro, I want to move about, and they go ask you, what do you do? And you're like, well, I work at Walmart or Burger King or one of these other places. No disrespect, but you know what I mean? Like, there's dudes around, there's dudes in that country that do the same thing. So, what puts you on another level is like, oh, well, he's intelligent, he's about something. And women talk to their friends. Oh, I met a guy named IP. Oh, IP, what does he do? Oh, he's a developer. Oh my God, that's great. You know what I mean? So it makes you more attractive. So definitely, yeah, definitely sign up to that Python class.
thank you, bro. Thank you, brother. Let me ask this, brother. You're also in tech as well.
Yeah.
Would you say in Berlin, Germany, when women ask you what you do, and you told them what you've done, that made them even more interested in you because you're a black man, you're in tech. They don't really see a lot of black men, working in that field.
Exactly. So that's the hack, right? Because if most of the black people within Germany society, other than like you get the few athletes here and there, and they're not really doing much, they're some of them are on what's the word? It's like what do you call it in America? It's like they're on the benefits. What do you call, how do they say it? It's like on how
Section
do
8.
Section 8, yeah, it's like you're on handouts, government aid or handouts. You're not really doing anything, or oh yeah, you're a DJ or you're a rapper, or you know what I mean. But if you meet someone that's like, well, I'm a dentist, or I'm a surgeon, I'm a pilot, I'm an engineer, I'm in tech, like, and you're good looking, you keep yourself in shape, you automatically stand out, as opposed to like, what do you do? Well, yeah, I work as a security guard, or I'm, no disrespect to those other things, but what I'm trying to say is like, you stand out a lot more if you have things going. And for me personally, that's been my hack. What do you do? I work in a company, or I work in tech. I state the company that I work for. Oh my god, that's interesting. So it's like, you're really about stuff. You keep yourself in shape. You're about stuff. They look at you. Yeah, you could take my number. Yeah, we could get something to drink. And a lot of the times, watch the explicit version. It ends well.
Hey, you're a joker. Hey, thank you, bro. And well, this message. Hey, bro, I need to watch. I'm watching that again tomorrow, man, when I'm studying. So I'm gonna drop the explicit version tomorrow on Saturday. Yeah, I'll drop it tomorrow. Black Label Expat. It's amazing. I'll tell you that. Yeah. All right. So yeah. So you joined that. Join my
IP.
Go on, bro.
One guy asked, like, so you can't be in Germany just for travel? You can. I'm not saying you cannot. Of course you can, but I think we're more or less focusing more on, like, if you were to like live there, right? If you live there and you're there for like a long duration of time. So I'm saying it works at your advantage if you're about something. Yeah, I'm not for sure weekenders. Yeah, I'm sure, but I think I'm more or less talking about if you decide to move there or live there, like you look more appealing if you have something going for yourself.
Yes, indeed. And brother, please let the brothers answer questions through a super chat or PayPal. Please
Okay.
avoid reading out. Thank you, brother.
No.
So brothers, yeah, if you have any questions, brothers, please PayPal or super chat your questions, or you can call in to ask the intelligent brother travel bro his experience there, who has a lot of experience there. So again, you can book a 30-minute or 60-minute consultation about IT or tech with me on Calendly. Book your session. I'm free most days next week to get you into IT or to answer your questions about IT or tech. Book your consultation on calendly.com, and we'll have a discussion there. Okay. Also, brothers, please feel free to donate to me on the PayPal. That's open 24/7. Please support the hard work I do. It's not easy streaming late at these hours just to get you out there and to improve your lives, but I'm going to keep doing it. So if you appreciate what I do, support, that'd be greatly appreciated, man. Thank you very much. If you're on IG, feel free to follow me on IG, and let's keep in touch. If you want to come on the channel, send me a DM on IG. So if you want to share your experience, I'm happy to bring you on. And of course, give you a voice, man. No one gives straight black men a voice, but I do my best to give brothers voices on my channel. And here's again, link to my Patreon too. Also, brothers, please feel free to cop my merch. And shout out to all the brothers who have copped it already. It was sold out before. Now it's back. Okay, it's replenished the stock. So please support there. Make sure you follow me on my new my new YouTube channel as well, International Passport Clips. And of course, follow me on Twitter as well to keep updated on the channel. Let's go. So I'm going to open up the phone lines. Please be respectful to our guests, or you will be punished and you will be banned in some cases. Okay, this is a very intelligent brother who reached out to me to come on the channel, and I appreciate his time, especially in the late times when he's on right now. So again, thank you, traveling bro. Appreciate you, bro.
No worries.
Let's get it cracking. So while we wait for a caller, brother, I want to ask you this, right? So who pays for the date between a black man and a German woman? Do you pay for her food and drinks, or do you go 50-50, or does she pay for you?
One thing I definitely did like about Germany is like, a lot of the times when I did go out on dates, I like going out to places where like it's affordable, so drinks, food, mostly drinks. But one thing I definitely do appreciate is that if a girl likes you, and in most cases, she will get the rounds. Like, okay, you might get a round, she might get a round. Of course, you might pay for more rounds, but at least she was considerate in getting you a few rounds. So, but at the same time, yeah, maybe you might bag one of these like new age bad chicks, and yeah, you might have to fork the whole bill. But in most cases, it's like she'll do something along the ways of like maybe buy you 2 drinks, or all right, cool, it's my turn, or I'll get you. You know what I mean? It's just I've noticed it's a lot balance, you know, as opposed to like how things are in the UK or the States. You know.
Absolutely, bro. It's one of the few places where the woman have bought me drinks. I couldn't believe it. UK, no chick has ever bought me a drink. I'm in Germany, first time ever. Chick buys me a drink. I'm like, what's going on here? This can't be
Fact.
real. That was a great experience. So awesome, bro. So let me speak to you about the black German woman.
Mm.
What's the intel on the black German woman? Are they checking for brothers? Do they like Western black men, or are they only for the white boys? And be real with me, brother.
Whew. That's a very, very tough one because it depends on who you meet. And when I talk about black, I'm also included like our mixed race sisters as well. But like I said, the image, the like, and this is one of the main reasons why I emphasize a lot in terms of like, what do you do? What are you about? Because you automatically kind of differentiate yourself from the locals. So, like I said, a lot of the locals are not really doing too well economically. Some are, but not a lot. No, not a lot. You don't have that representation that we kind of have in like the UK, or let's say the States, for example, like a balanced one in most cases. So you do get a lot of these like mix of black women also dating a lot of white dudes, Turkish dudes, Arabic dudes, because them dudes about it, man. You know what I mean? They they own businesses, they study, they do that, they drive nice cars, so most cases women are going to be geared towards that. But of course, I would say they tend, they love black men, but at the same time, it's like I also, from what I've seen, would be open to kind of like check that side. And for most of those like mixed women, from what I've noticed, a lot of them actually do like white dudes or Turkish dudes or Arabic dudes.
Whoa,
Yeah.
mixed black women are picking Arab, Turkish dudes and white men over black men in Germany.
Yeah.
That's wow, damn,
Yeah, for sure. For sure. For sure.
wow. You
Yeah.
know, damn. I want to thank you both for being very honest with me, because when I did my Germany stream last year, when I came back from Hamburg, right, I told brothers, right, the women love black men, but I hate the situation that brothers are in Germany in terms of having little economic power there, which is why I'm a
Mhm.
bit iffy in living there long term, right? Despite all the problems America has, right? Okay, America has a black community where you know uh, there are brothers that are earning great money. We see Theo, we see other brothers doing very well on the channel, right? So it shows you, right, if you put your head down, a black man can make it in America financially and economically. Germany,
Mm.
I'm a bit worried there, because I hate to be ostracized, right? I would hate to be the only, if I was, let's say, if I was a millionaire, right, or a billionaire, I would hate to be the only black man who's a millionaire, billionaire. I want to have other black men around me who are millionaires and billionaires too. I didn't see that in Germany, and that really shocked me, right?
Exactly.
The black people are really at the bottom there, especially native black German people, not
Mm.
black expats, and that
Yeah,
shocked me. Would you
exactly.
agree with that, brother?
Definitely, definitely. So that's one of the main reasons why, because I know quite a few, like maybe even girls that just out of just like platonic friends, and they told me like, oh yeah, like my first boyfriend, he was Turkish, or I've dated Turkish guys. Then, then after that, where I've dated one or two black guys, but mostly Turkish and Arabic. Yeah, like some don't even date black guys at all. Like they'll just white, Turkish, Arabic, them dudes. Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Wow. Thank you, bro, for the honesty. Shout out to Mr. Muhammad Adams for the £1.57 PayPal donation. Thank you, bro, for the support. It is much appreciated. Thank you very much, man. This is awesome. All right, let's get some callers in. Don't be shy, brothers. Don't be shy. Did I post a link to call in? Yeah, I did call it. I did. So call in if you want to ask any questions to our guest. This won't be a very long stream for our guests, right? So the quicker you call in, the better. Or we're gonna let the guest leave early and him do his business over there in Europe. So make sure you call in now because we ain't gonna do a 5 hour stream today about guests. Nope, nope, nope. So call in now to make use of our guest's time while he's still here. Thank you for the honesty, bro. Let me ask this right. So where do you see why are black German men not doing well in Germany economically from what you saw in your 7 years in Berlin, Germany?
Man, it's hard, because yeah, some of them play sports like football, but it's tough because I had quite a few, so if your parents are, and mostly from, I would say, West Africa, or I've met a few where it's like, yeah, my parents forced me to study, I have to get a degree, so you do get some, but maybe because I'm comparing it to, let's say, the UK and the US, for example, where a lot of my friends are doctors, a lot of my friends are engineers, a lot of my friends are this and doing that, and in Germany it's just like, some are like, yeah, I'm a rapper, or I'm a promoter, or I'm this and I'm that. And it's like, but you meet some of the women and it's like they're studying. They have like a degree in psychology, they're working in HR, like they're doing these sort of things. So I couldn't tell you, maybe, they might have their own institutionalized racism, or I don't know, maybe they have like certain hurdles that we may have faced in the UK and the US like maybe 20 years ago, and maybe they're just about approaching that. But that's the one thing I know, it's like majority of, like I said, I'm not from Germany, but the majority of companies that I've worked in, I've been the only black guy there.
Wow. And how did that feel, being the only black guy there, bro? Were you targeted? Did you experience any racism, any sort of glass ceiling towards you?
Yeah, of course, you get all of that, but at the same time, it's like I'm naturally very resilient. Like I know what I want, I know how I'm gonna get there. If I encounter like, well, this company may just be like a stop at a restroom for like a year, then after that I'm gonna use my time in order for me to like get certain certification, improve myself technically. Then when the opportunity arises, then I'm out of there, so yeah, I don't let those sort of things kind of like hold me back for too long.
Awesome. Thank you, bro. Thank you very much. So in Germany, brother, did you meet women that were wealthy, rich and wealthy, that were checking for black men?
Rich and wealthy. Yeah, you get wealthy parts of Berlin. Yeah, they do. Maybe like, but I think, like I said, you have to have something. Like, are you in sports? Are you a footballer or soccer player? Do you play basketball? Like, are you well known in the club scene? I think that's probably maybe the only time that you may bag them. But I'm sure you've been to Berlin, so you see how down bad some black brothers are out there. Like I don't know, man. Unless you have like some mad black dude fetish, I don't really think they would like skip all them dudes to go over there, if that makes sense.
Very, very, very true, man. Very, very true. So, brother, let me ask this right. And before I do so, let me just read this another PayPal donation, because I think your experience as a Black British man is very unique, and I want to hear that from you, because ain't too much Black British men around the world. I'll tell you that. Give me a second. Okay, let's go. Right. So, log in, man. All right, so shout out to the brother. Let's go. Let's go. Shout out to shout out to Mr. Raymond for the £3.90 93 PayPal donation. Thank you, bro. He says here, question for you, bro. Are the Asian or Latina women more submissive? And to date a Black German woman, is there anything we should be mindful about?
Latino. Is there any Latinos in Berlin? Not a big community. There's there, but not a big community. I think there's a few like Dominicans, but not not enough for you to leave where you need to where you're currently situated to go. And like Dominicans, they tend to kind of like stick to themselves. Asians, no, I didn't really encounter too many Asians. I know they're about mostly like in the east part of Berlin, but nothing that I've like actively encountered. But I'm not into Asian women, so maybe this is I don't know, maybe it's just, but it's not something active that I've seen. And in terms of like the sisters, it's like if you're there for a weekender, then yeah, it's going to be a waste of time trying to holler at sisters because you know what I mean. They're going to want to long the situation out, and you know. So if you're there for a short weekend, then yeah, ignore the sisters because you know I don't know, man. They're not gonna they're not gonna give you what you want. In my opinion, I might be it might be on a person to person basis, but I would say there's other women that will put out. But other than that, yeah, you just have to. I think if you're just dealing with any chick in Berlin, regardless of race, you just need to do your research. Like do like your thorough research because you know even the most quiet ones that you may overlook that yeah she goes to the library, she's quiet, I think she's a good one, you know. And you know you need to go to the explicit version so you can kind of get good understanding of what I'm saying. But you know they go to certain places and it's like it's the it's the WrestleMania of nonsense, you know. And I think IP knows what I'm talking about, you know. It's like the Super Bowl of
Debauchery.
yeah, scumbagness, you know. So, you know, she might just be like 5-star champion, you know what I mean? She might just be like the you know what I mean? So yeah, man, you definitely need to do your research because boy, you might find out certain things and wake up next morning and have a stroke, man.
Facts, man. And you know, if you don't rule out Berlin, Germany. Like I said before, it's extremely easy to get women. Very, very easy. And check out the explicit version to see how easy it is. To find a wife in Berlin, Germany, I don't think that's the move. I think you're better off going to Hamburg. I love Hamburg. I've been there. They were checking for me heavy. And you know I'm not capping. You see me approach women. You see me approach women in Panama, in Vancouver, in Germany. So I'm not out here just spewing out nonsense, man. I cold approach, and you see me cold approach on camera, and the women are smiling at me, giving me play, right? So that's me on camera. Imagine me off camera when I'm dressed well, I pick my target, I approach, drop game. Okay, so don't rule out Berlin, Germany in terms of getting women. I'm just giving you the whole picture, right? Black men's economic status, black men's move. But again, it's different for Western black men. Would you agree, brother? If you're a black American man, black Englishman, that also puts you on a different level. Like, whoa.
Yeah, yeah, because now you have that exotic factor. So that's one of the main reasons why, like, it might sound like I'm just like, but all right, cool. What do you do? Well, I'm a basketballer. Well, I play basketball in Europe, but I'm an American. Like, you do something. There's something that you do, so you kind of like stand out. So that's one thing I'm saying. Like, you just have to, if you're a music producer or whatever, you just need to be about something, and that will put you above. And that's the reason why, like I said, go to explicit version. Boy, I was literally cleaning up, man.
Hey, man, amazing. He was cleaning up. Thank you, bro. All right. So if none of you brothers call in the next 5-10 minutes, I'm going to end the stream early. It will be good for brothers to get a good night's sleep anyways, early sleep. So this is your time to answer questions about Berlin, Germany. So hit the PayPal super chats for your questions. If you don't want to do that, feel free to call in. If you want to support the channel, make sure you please support the channel by donating to the movement, man. Always donate, because you know what, no one's doing these long streams giving you the whole scope. No one's blowing smoke up your beep, and lying to you, man. I'm giving you we're giving you the honest truth here. Okay. Shout out to Mr. Shelton Harvey for the first super chat tonight. Thank you, bro. Second tonight. Thank you, brother, for the $5 super chat. How much cash flow will you need for a 7-day trip in Berlin for food, activities, tours, and nightlife? You want to answer that question, bro?
Okay, so if I was a tourist for 7 days, so how much would I need? So I would say most importantly, get yourself a decent hotel in the center. Doesn't necessarily have to be too upscaled. But Berlin, when it comes to food, is, like I said, there's, and I'm not. Oh, I'm trying to figure out my words carefully. There's nice places around the city for like I said, Turkish, Arabic, Middle Eastern, Vietnamese. So there's affordable place. Of course, there's these like place, which is affordable activities. Berlin, I think one appealing factor, it has like a lot of these like tours where they show you they just more or less take you around the city. Emphasize, of course, the Berlin Wall. There's the I think it's called Brandenburger Tor or something. Them like big gates. There's just many places where, like, if I'm being honest with you, you can take one of these like IP. What do you call them? Like one of them scooter bikes.
Oh yes.
Yeah, you could just get one of those and just literally just travel around the city, which I don't really think they're also very expensive, but Berlin is also one of those places where like you could walk to a lot of these like touristic destinations by foot, especially if you're based in Mitte. So that's also very, very great. And in terms of the nightlife, it also depends on like what scene you want to attack. Berlin has, like I said, has a big electro scene. So places like Berghain, Sisyphus in the summer, Katablau, About Blank. And you also have like a lot of the hip hop places where it's like 808, Bricks. They have a few, but I don't know. Maybe they've kind of like popped up ever since I've left. So I don't know. It depends on how hard you want to go, Shelton, for the 7 days. But there isn't much going on other than like maybe Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and in some cases Sunday. So I think you could also be quite strategic with like how you also kind of like how you spend during those. I'm sure the nightlife. So So I'm sure maybe out of that, what, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, maybe like a day or two will be sufficient enough if you want to go out. But I'd say bar hopping is also good if you want to just like body something quick, you know. So yeah, I would say, man, for 7 days, maybe just below a G, and that's
Oh,
like, but that's like, it depends on
well,
what you
that's
want
high
to do.
end, right? That's really, yeah. I say in the minimum, right? I think you can do 7 days in Berlin on $200. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
because
but it
because
depends on what you want to do. It depends on
yeah,
what. I'll say $200 if you want to like, but I don't know. With Americans, I think sometimes they tend to like overspend, so maybe that's one of the main reasons why. But yeah, if you want to eat good, yeah, I'd say yeah, maybe 300 $300. But he's talking. But is that also including hotels? And he's
oh
up,
yes, that is true.
yeah, hotels.
Including
Yeah,
hotels, probably 800 to 1,000. I agree.
yeah. Like with the hotel where your hotel situated, it could be cheaper. Sometimes you get these like you get a lot of them. It's like a, what do you call it? It's like a hostel,
Mm.
but the hostels, man, they're like fucking. It's like, oh, sorry about my language. It's like it's like a county jail, man. It's like, yeah, it's cheap, but there's gonna be like 20 bunk beds in there, man. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Yeah, you can cut corners, but do you really want to stay in one of those setups like that? So I'm sure you want to get something decent, nothing too high end. So yeah, maybe like $500 is probably sufficient enough.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate the answer there, and thank you for the support, Shelton. Much appreciation, bro. So, Mr. Raymond in the background, are you ready, bro? All right, brother. Give me a thumbs up. Is camera on? Is that okay? Is that okay, brother? Give me a thumbs up with the camera on. Okay. Thank you, Raymond. Thank you for confirming. Let me bring in Mr. Raymond. How you doing, Raymond?
I'm doing excellent. How you doing, IP?
I'm doing fantastic, bro. Fantastic,
So
brother.
I have
Good
three
to hear.
questions.
Of
First
course.
question: why don't you like Asian women, man?
This is not my type. This is just personal preference,
Oh,
like
okay.
just
All
like
right.
nothing out of like it's just personal preference. They're
Okay.
cute, but it's just out of me. I just don't find them attractive.
All right, I got you. And how about the job opportunities in IT though? In Germany, is it hard to get in, or
I,
is
I think
it
it's probably one of the best places because I would say it's one of the easiest places because it just has like just new companies like just popping up left, right, and center. So, and those companies, I personally believe, usually tend to take the punt for
Mhm.
like people who are new into tech. So I would say it's a lot more easier to get into places or in Berlin than I would say like for most places that I've lived or worked in.
okay? So should I focus on getting the college degree, or should I just worry about getting certifications? Because right now I'm in Theo's class right now, trying to get my CCP right now.
I
So
would say, I would say, I would say, especially in this day and age, focus just more on building projects, like building a portfolio and just studying. Study, building a portfolio, building projects. Also, good thing that you can maybe start doing starting from now. Do you have like a LinkedIn?
um, yes, I do.
Okay, so start reaching out to like recruiters, not even maybe just messaging them, but just like following recruiters that are maybe based in Berlin, just like following them. Sometimes, from my personal experience, even start striking up conversation like, "Hey, how you doing? I'm based here, and I'm working in tech. Like, can we keep in touch?" That's also very, very great because if you have like a few recruiters under your belt, I'm not saying like it's like a weekly sync with them, but just like, I'm here, like, hey, I'm thinking about moving to Berlin. I'm currently working on this at the moment. And a lot of the times, take this from me, like once you have like a few crews under your belt, I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. When you're ready to move over to Germany or wherever, they'll be like, all right, cool. Give me your CV and give me your portfolio, and I could help you look for spots, you know.
Now, how do I start working on projects if I'm not working in the IT field? Is there a way that I can do that, or should I just do like a freelancing and just?
No, but when I mean like working on projects, it's like building your portfolio. So
Okay.
whatever you're currently doing at the moment, or whatever, maybe it's front end, DevOps, back end, or whatever. I'm sure like you know, there's these sort of like an IP back me up, but like I'm mostly speaking from like maybe a front end, back end. People usually have GitHubs and they have like a lot of the repositories of things that they've currently worked on. So it's just like more or less displaying your progress and some of the cool things you're working on, and just to kind of showcase your development, you know. So I think you get what I mean, like So
yeah, I do.
Yeah, like building a website, building multiple websites, and working on other people's things. And because I've also interviewed quite a few engineers and developers, and especially nowadays, they want your CV. Give me your like website or wherever you're working on, your GitHub link, right? IP, your GitHub link.
Correct.
And that's what they base your. Oh yeah, he's working on cool things. Oh, okay, I could see what he's working on, and you know he's active on there. So that's also a very, very, you know, sometimes they might even hire you just on the spot, just based on your very good candidate. You know.
Now with Berlin, and no, we're not really Berlin in general, but even all of Germany, how is the STD rate? Like, should I really be worried about?
We touched upon that on the Patreon. You're on there, right? You're on there.
Yes, sir. I am.
Yeah,
I am.
so
Under J Royal.
Yeah. So I'm gonna drop the video tomorrow, bro.
IP to give him a clean version, a clean sort of like high level. It's like, yeah, in a city like Berlin, yeah, definitely, you know, definitely strap up. You know, put it that way. You know,
okay, got you. I got you.
If you're doing it, it's like, boy, like,
yeah,
strap up for sure.
All right, I got you. Thank you.
I know we like to like soak our feet in the water from time to time. Yeah, but you need to be careful, man, because you're gonna wake up the next morning with a flu, man. So you know, just strap up.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome. Hey, thank you, Raymond. Great question, brother. Great question, man.
Hey, you're welcome. Have a good one.
You too, brother. Appreciate you, bro. Great questions. Shout out to Raymond. All right, awesome. All right, so brothers, feel free to call in. Feel free to call in if you have any questions. We got exactly 13 more minutes. I'm gonna end the stream there. Okay, so feel free to call in. Okay, you got 13 more minutes to ask the brother any questions. Okay, questions about life in Germany, food, anything about Germany, German women. If you want to call in, you must hit the super chats or PayPal for your questions. So if no one has any questions or calls in the next 2 minutes, I'm going to let the brother go early. It is late for him, so I'm not going to let him wait for the next 30 minutes that no one is responsive. Okay, so you got 2 minutes right now, brothers. 2 minutes to get your.
Do you also have any other questions? Any other?
I think okay. Let me go for my normal list. Give me a second. So how is the? Let's go. Okay, I think you. Let's see. So are women in Berlin conservative or very liberal?
I would say more liberal, very liberal, very, very liberal. More liberal than like other parts of, let's say, Germany for sure. Way more liberal. Like you have like, remember Berlin was one of those cities where like if anyone did their research, there was a parade. There was like in the 90s, early 2000s, there was like a parade called the Love Parade, and that Love Parade was like. Yeah, man, that was just where like everybody came out, wherever your orientation was, and I think it was like the go-to place for like everyone in Europe to go to, you know. So very, very liberal, Antifa. Yeah, it's very, very liberal.
And I would say that's a bad thing, right? If a woman's too liberal, it means anything goes. She doesn't care about body count, conserve
Nope.
her purity, her
No,
status.
no.
It's just how she feels.
Put it this way, dude. If you want a woman that hasn't been touched, don't come to Berlin, bro. Put it that way. Like if you're there in New York and you're like, man, I need to find a nah, bro. Like, save your money and go somewhere else, man. Because Berlin is like, yeah, man. Them chicks. Listen to the explicit version, man. Them chicks. Yeah, bro. Listen to that explicit version, and you're gonna be like, nah. I can't. I can't.
Facts, bro. I mean, bro, it's even so. They're so out there in Berlin, Germany. So they're so out there in Berlin, Germany that even the Muslim chicks get down like that. I'm like, damn,
bro. They get down, bro. You know what I mean? They hide it more. There's a lot of like I said, and IP probably knows, there's a lot of these like venues that cater to like things that they're not in no back alley. You go down a tunnel, you knock on the door 4 times, they look in, you have to go through the building, you have to climb up some stairs. Nah, there's literally places on the high street that people go to, in order for them to like fulfill their recklessness, to quench your thirst, So yeah, it's all over the place in Berlin, Just type in a few keywords in Google, and yeah, they're just literally there, So
damn, wow. Okay. Would you say that it is impossible to find a virgin there in Berlin?
Man, this who like IP? Who wouldn't want a virgin? I would want a virgin. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm just saying, it's like them. The way, from what I've seen, it's like nah. Like, I'm not saying it's impossible, but nah, man. Like, I put it this way: when I lived in Germany, I ruled out finding a virgin, full stop. Like, it wasn't even a thing, you know what I mean? Like, where it's like, boy, it is what it is, isn't it? Like, that's just what it is, you know what I mean? Like, who wouldn't want a virgin? Who wouldn't want a quiet woman? But I've experienced and seen so much nonsense. It's like, at one point, it's just like the game's a game, you know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those ones, So yeah, it's just, I'm not saying it's impossible, but unless you get them young, and but other than that, nah, it's like, no way, man. No way.
Okay. Low body count, impossible.
Where low body count, you know what I mean? It's just with how active some of them move there. But I remember IP. Remember what I told you in the explicit version? You're gonna get to a point where you just have to like settle for a particular number. Just settle for a particular number and just make peace with it. You know what I mean? But other than I'm trying to look for a woman that's only raked up 2 numbers. Nah, man. Not in this day and age, man.
Wow.
Not back then, and not in this day and age.
Wow. I don't think what's happening in Berlin is happening in Hamburg like that. I think it's a lot more toned down in Hamburg. Hamburg women there are a lot more classy. I'm not sure. Have you been to any other cities in Germany that you liked and you thought the women there were better than the women in Berlin?
To be honest, I actually think like other parts of Germany, the women look actually a lot better. Compared to Berlin, I'd say women in Hamburg look a lot better. Like, they dress. Hanover, Frankfurt, maybe because they have more money, so they're able to. So I would say they definitely, not to say there's no beautiful women in Berlin. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, like, I've always believed women outside of Berlin just look a bit better. So that's why sometimes when you do meet a very nice woman in Berlin and you ask her, oh, where are you from? She might be like, oh, I'm from Hanover, I'm from Cologne. And you're like, oh, that's why, you know. So yeah, for sure. But yeah, them chicks in Berlin, it's like, go listen to the explicit version, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying my best to kind of keep this PG, you know what I mean? But you definitely need to like understand what, you know, traveling bros saying, you know, like some of the nonsense I go up to is the reason why I just like, nah, I've lost hope, you know.
Oh, you've lost hope in Germany or overall, bro? Wherever you go to, you just lost hope.
Man, it's just like, oh, man, like I do believe, unless you know, unless you go to like certain parts of the world where traditions are still kept in place, the father, you know, in order for you to like get the girl, you need to go through a father, and oh yeah, I'm gonna give my father to him. There, in most cases, from what I experience, it's just like, man, these women, it's just like, bro, they say one thing to do another. Man, especially in Berlin, boy, they just, man, it's like literally. I've been in situations. Put it this way: can my man's hit? Literally, can my man's hit? Can my boy hit? And it's literally like, sure.
Damn, that's wild.
And bearing in mind as well, it's not just the dudes that have rotations. Women have rotations of dudes there as well, you know.
What?
Yep.
Oh yeah, you mentioned on the Patreon. Yeah, they're juggling.
Yeah, they have rotations as well. So you might be dealing with a girl. You know, I'm gonna keep this PG IP, so don't worry. You know, you might meet her. She's all down to earth. She likes anime. She likes, boy, I'm quiet. I'm a homebody. Then little do you know, she's just dropping like, yeah, like I'm seeing another dude, and if you don't mind. Berlin's another city where like it's one of the first places that I actually heard open relationships. And that was like 6 years ago.
Jesus.
The whole like open relationship. What do you mean? Oh yeah, like, you know, that was very, very common back there, you know. So yeah, man, Berlin, I go away with a lot of nonsense. I did a lot of bad things out there, man. Serious bad things, man. So that's why for me, it's like thinking about a virgin out there. It's just like, what? Man, there's no hope out there, man. What the hell?
do you know why Berlin's like that, right? Berlin has a lot of history. I don't want to go into it too deeply because it can get a bit sensitive for YouTube. But you know, I will speak on it on maybe at a different time. But there's a lot of demonic history, nonsense history in Berlin from over 100 years. A lot of craziness, and you know it's still permeating today. You confirmed Dem's word, thank you, bro, and it's still permeating today. So the energy there is off. The energy there, I think there's some sort of demonic energy in Berlin that's just jumping from people to people, and I feel that's why it's like that. There's a lot of filthy history in Berlin, probably the most filthy city in the entire world. If you look at its history over the past 150 years, man, they were doing some crazy crap that the whole world would have, you know, ostracized them if they knew of it. Shout out to Mr. Johnny Walker in the building for the $10 super chat. Thank you, bro, for the support. What was the reason you left Berlin for Stockholm traveling, bro?
Similar to I think after a while it's just like you just get to a point where it's like, man, I need a new change, I need a new challenge. And I think for me, I just got too comfortable out there, you know, because you can imagine at one point the highlight of my weekend was literally grocery, doing my laundry, getting ready for Monday or getting ready for the following week. So in my mind, I was like, well, I could do this anywhere. Like I don't need to be based in Berlin to to do that. And I thought to myself, sometimes you need a challenge, and yeah, I think that's the main reason why I decided to kind of like leave at one point. But yeah, I still have a lot of friends who are still based there, but I think at one point, you know, I put it this way: if I didn't leave then, I think I don't think I would have left the city, because I was just too comfortable, like being in a place for like 7 years. And bear in mind, I left there 3 years ago, so yeah, in total, I would have been there for like 10 years. So, you know, I was getting comfortable. I had my apartment, I had my network of friends, I had my lifestyle, and at this one point, I just became like too comfortable, you know.
Yeah, the woman coming in every day.
Bro, it was crazy, man. Rotations, like it's man, it's one of those cities that you could you could easily just set up a rotation of, you know, and like you said, work, you have your gym, you do that. Hey, what's your plans this evening? Do you want to come over? She comes over, she stays the night, you know, you go to work the next day. Bro, literally, you know, literally one of that. And she has a rotation of dudes, you know what I mean? So yeah, man.
Wow. Thank you, bro. All right, so we're gonna wrap up for our
I
brother.
think we have one more.
Yeah, so Mr. Demswood, do you have any questions for our guest traveling, bro? You're going to be the last brother saying his question, and we're going to let him go. He's obviously it's a bit late for him, so fire away, Demswood.
What's up, IP? How you doing, bro? Big bro.
All good, brother. How you keep it?
All good, all good. How you doing, brother? I'm sorry, I forgot your name.
Traveling, bro. What's going
Traveling,
on?
bro. What's up, bro?
I'm
All right?
good. I'm good. How are you?
It's all good, man. It's good to see another UK brother. That's a passport, bro. It's all good, man.
Yeah.
So, I'm guessing Berlin is just as. Oh, hold on, but is Berlin just as hectic as London?
London is like fast paced. London is like, I would say, New York pace, very hyper capitalistic, fast paced. Whereas Berlin feels like, because the population of Berlin is like 4 million, so Berlin will be like Birmingham or something. You know what I mean? It will just be like a few gears down. You know what I mean? Like, whereas London's fast paced. Everyone's moving, everyone's quick. Whereas in Berlin, once you live there, you just feel like things are just things move a lot more slower there. You know, so if that's the aspects you're talking about, demographics is a lot different. In London, there's more black people. In Berlin, not so much. They have a decent size, but not as much as you have in, let's say, London or certain parts of the States, for sure. Crime is a bit different. They also have their crime, but their crime is more like Turkish gangs, you know, like Turkish mafia, Turkish gangs, Russian. It's more of that sort of type, biker gangs, as opposed to like, you know, gangbangers, street dudes type, you know.
But so it's clear. So it's clear that if you was to find a wife in Germany, avoid Berlin.
Yeah, avoid. To be honest, you know, like, avoid it, because I'm saying it from a person that lived there, because it's like once you've lived there and you see what's about, it's like you're gonna be like, you're gonna lose hope. But I'm just saying, like, try other parts which are a bit more, you know, I'd say still a bit more conservative. I'm saying in comparisons to Berlin. So you could definitely find some in other parts of Germany, but Berlin is like come on, they have like parades, you know, that alphabet parades, which is quite big. The drug culture is very, very big in Berlin because of the techno scene. So it's like, you know, like, and it's appealing. There's a lot of people that move to Berlin because of the techno scene, and you know, they hit places like Berghain and these places. And but if you do your research about what goes on to these places, it's like you know, they're not having coffee and talking about the football game the night before, you know. So yeah, there's a lot of nonsense that definitely happens in that city.
2 more questions, bro. And I know, I'm sorry, bro. I know you're busy, but 2 more
No
questions.
worries, no worries.
You ever been to Oktoberfest?
No, but I've heard it's quite expensive though. But I heard it's good. I think it's in Munich. The only reason why I didn't go is because I think during that October period I usually traveled. But there's been a few times that people just go there, drive to Munich. But yes, I heard it's quite expensive.
Oh no, yeah. I need to go to Germany again. I need Oktoberfest. IP, man. We need Oktoberfest, bro.
I'll do my best to.
But then
do
again,
that.
let's be honest. Would you want a wifey in Oktoberfest?
Oh no.
I mean, like she's out there just getting smashed on beers and wearing skimpy attires, and you know what I mean. So yeah, if you're gonna look for a wifey, don't go to Oktoberfest.
No, it's all good, bro. I just want to see it because I just want to go and visit because it looks so lit.
Yeah,
but I want
to find a wife out in Oktoberfest.
Yeah, but I want to see the German women, you know, their traditional dress.
Yeah,
you know, that skimpy dress. But
even in Berlin, you know, in Berlin during Oktoberfest, every company has like this sort of like Oktoberfest like themed, like Oktoberfest. So, and like yeah, you get like some of your German colleagues that'll come. I think it's called like the men's one's called Lederhosen or something.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Lederhosen, and the women they wear that the dress with their you know their chest squeezed. You know what I mean? It's just
yeah.
They wear that in the office and all of that, but
hey man,
and stuff. You know.
In the office, jeez.
Yeah. They're getting run through. If you're looking like that, Well, how are the German sisters, bro?
They're cool, they're cool. But there's I think the majority of them are either from Ghana, Angolan. What's that place? Namibia, because just remember Namibia because I think it was a German colony. Cameroon. Where else do I see some? They're cool. Some are cool, some are mixed. There's a lot of mixed German women. So they're cool. Like, of course, being from the UK, US, there's also that appeal because they just remember like a lot of the content is that they kind of regurgitate is usually from like the UK, US. So of course that's a plus. So some of them are cool, man. Some of them are cool. Some of them are pretty down to earth. So I'm not trying to like exclude them. They're down to earth. They're different, and some are cool. But for me, man, women are women at the end of the day, man. They're all gonna give you problems one way or another.
True.
Awesome. All right. Thank you for the questions, Demswood. Gonna have to let the brother go. It is late for him. Mr. Traveling Bro, I want to say thank you, brother, for your time in this stream. Do you have any closing statements, brother, before we let you go, bro?
No, man, I like what you're doing. Big up IP, like you said. Go, you know, like with the whole like Python, getting into tech. I'm telling you, Passport Bros, like that's something you definitely need to kind of like get involved in because I think once you know what I mean, you're able to kind of like work remote, you know, like you could be in the Philippines and work remote and do your thing and, you know, have fun out there and still make your money and still work, you know. So life's always about balance too, you know, and yeah, big up IP, big up, you know, your subscribers. And like I said, go to the Patreon to hear the XXXXXXXXX. Boy, you might need to wear rubbers. You know what I mean? IP, they might need to wear rubbers. based on what we were talking about, So yeah, man, you need to wear protection just based on the information I was giving out. So yeah, man. But big up IP anyway, and big up the Passport Bros worldwide.
Wow, thank you, bro. See you tomorrow, bro. Looking forward to what we have planned tomorrow, bro. We won't tell you what country we'll touch upon, brothers. That's wait until tomorrow. And obviously we'll speak over the weekend, man, traveling, bro. Have some good rest, brother. And speak to you tomorrow, brother.
Speak to you guys soon.
All right, take it easy, bro. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, that's a brother, Mr. Traveling Bro from the UK. Appreciate the brother, Traveling Bro, brothers. All right, awesome. All right, so I'm going to carry on for 10 more minutes with Mr. Demswood. And feel free to call in, brothers, as well, if you want to speak about Germany or our favorite topic, Japan or Japanese women. So in the meantime, brothers, make sure you join the appropriate Patreon tiers right now to be added to my Python class. I will stop taking people very soon. So join either the Python tier, Bronze IT tier, Platinum tier, or Lightning tier to join my upcoming Python classes on the Patreon. If you have any questions about IT or tech or even traveling, and you're just thinking about, okay, where do I want to go in tech? Is it the best for me before I commit to IP's Python course or any sort of IT mentoring? What do I do? I always tell you, brothers, please make sure you book a calendar meeting with me for a half an hour or 60-minute IT or tech consultation talk where we start speaking about your career, what's currently happening with you. I had quite a few this week. Okay, so I'm free all Saturday and Sunday, so book your slot right now and half an hour, 60 minutes, and let's see if tech is the best thing for you, how I can help you out, etc., etc. Okay, so make sure you take use of my time and when I'm free. Awesome. So fantastic, Mr. Demsworth. Thank you, brother, for your time. Thank you all the brothers who called in, brothers who supported, who hit the PayPal and super chats. Not a lot of support today, but it's all good. I'm gonna keep pushing, man, and keep giving you brothers the content you need, man. And shout out to all those who support today. It means a lot to me. Thank you very much. You got any closing statements, Mr. Demswood?
Yeah, Germany is a big hotspot for brothers. You know, I need to go to Germany again. Beautiful country. A lot of opportunities, like you said, IP. Berlin's not the only city to find a wife. Like you said, there's Munich. There's other conservative cities, but yeah, Germany just has a lot of opportunity in terms of IT as well. I know Germany's big, and for tech. But I love the German live streams. Keep up the great work, big bro. And I'm looking forward to the next live stream tomorrow.
Awesome. Thank you for the kind words, Demswood. Awesome, brothers. Awesome. All right. So where's everyone listening in from? Let me know right now where you're listening in from. And let's see how international this channel is. I'm gonna give you brothers 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute to let me know where you're calling in from. And of course, if you want to hear the explicit version of the stream, I'll be dropping that tomorrow on Saturday. Okay, I'll be dropping the explicit version of this stream tomorrow on Saturday, which is wild, beyond wild. I'm not exaggerating. It is speechless. Couldn't believe what I was hearing. All right, so 30 more seconds, brothers. Mr. Johnny, who's in Houston, Texas. Awesome, bro. Nice one, man. Fantastic. Thomas, who's in New York. Fantastic, man. Awesome. Mr. Demswood, London, UK. Shouts Demswood. Appreciate you, bro. All right, 1 more minute, brothers. Shelton, DMV, Bean, Portland, Oregon. Fantastic, man. Good job. New York, Aussie. Fantastic. Who else is in the building? Anyone from outside of UK and America? Okay, awesome. All right, brothers. I'll see you brothers on the next video. Peace out. Take it easy, brothers. Thank you very much.